That's right. Battlefield Hardline has been delayed until 2015. This was a decision that was made yesterday by DICE, Visceral and EA all together, it seems. I received an email directly from Steve Papoutsis, who is the general manager of Visceral Games and hence in charge of Hardline. And there was also a blog post that was released under the name of Carl Magnus from DICE. He's the general manager over there. Both of these pieces of information included even more information as to why this game has been delayed. First of all, I would just like to say this is perhaps one of the first times I've heard, in recent times anyway, that EA have actually let a game be delayed. I'm not too sure why it's been delayed in terms of EA, but we definitely know why it's been delayed in terms of the development studio. According to the blog post that went out, the main reason why Battlefield Hardline has been delayed is simply because the amount of feedback that they've been given by the community through the beta, through closed internal testing and loads of other different things, mainly at E3 as well, they were getting a lot of feedback there. They just felt that they didn't have enough time to then finish the game for October the 21st. Within that lack of time, they've cited 3 different reasons as to why they think this was a justified decision, and I happen to agree with them. I think this is a really good decision, but we'll get to that in a minute. The first one, multiplayer innovation. Basically, loads of different ideas have been thrown at Visceral, and they want to implement as many as they can because they feel they're relevant, and they feel they work within the game. But of course, with that much feedback, they're not going to be able to implement it all before the game comes out. So they've delayed it to make sure all the features that have been suggested and accepted by the dev team are actually going to be in the game when it launches. Secondly is the single player story depth. Now I think this is a great reason to delay the game. We know that Visceral Games are really hot on making single player games. We know that Dead Space was extremely popular. In fact, it was more popular than EA even ever expected it to be. So the fact that Visceral are taking even more time to extend what could be a really good single player game mode for Battlefield Hardline. We know that DICE done a really good job with another spin-off series, Bad Company. The campaigns in those 2 games were absolutely brilliant, so it's great to see a development studio like Visceral, which are renowned for single player storylines, taking a little bit more time to make sure that that thing is perfect. And thirdly, and this one I think will come with a collective cheer from most people in the Battlefield community, is stability. Extra time to continue to optimise the game for a stable launch after learning a lot from Battlefield 4. That's a big statement right there from Visceral. That means that they've looked at Battlefield 4, seen how unhappy the community are, and let me tell you, there are less people playing Battlefield 4 right now by a country mile than there were playing Battlefield 3 at this point in its life cycle. So I can see why they want to delay the game to make sure this thing actually works when they release it. So, is this a good decision by Visceral? I think 100% this is a fantastic decision by Visceral. It sends out a clear statement to those people who've been put off by Battlefield 4 that the guys that are making this game really do care about the end result. That's not to say that DICE didn't care about the end result with Battlefield 4. There was just a different ethos behind the way that game needed to be released. I think it's an amazing decision by Visceral. The fact that EA let that go ahead is very surprising to me, but having said that, EA's quarterly results for the first quarter in 2015 were something like up 56% over last year, so perhaps that has a playing factor in why this decision was allowed to go ahead. But overall, if we get a better game when it releases, I'm quite happy to wait until the start of 2015. And I've got a funny feeling that most of you guys out there too will be feeling pretty good about this right now. Despite the fact that we have to wait longer, we will be getting a more stable game when it launches. One thing worthy of note as well, Dragon Age Inquisition, another EA game, has actually been pushed back to November as well. It's not such a drastic release change, but it has still been pushed back a couple of months. So these 2 decisions come off the back of some really good financial results for EA, which is I think why these decisions were allowed to go ahead. Had the results not been so good, potentially we could still be seeing Hardline launching on October 21st. But as it is right now, this game will be coming in 2015. But anyway guys, thanks for watching today. Make sure you leave a rating and leave all your comments down below. Let's have a good discussion about what you think about this really surprising bit of news that's come out of the Visceral studio. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.